What's going on today, GLG Crew? It's GLG Dan, and today we got another video for you. Today we're going to do some gameplay of course, Green Yellow Law. Got a couple gameplays filmed for you guys. I got a webcam game and a couple ranked simulator games. So we're going to go over the footage, see what I did, kind of go over the mistakes I made, but also some of the good plays that I made as well. So we'll go through all three of those videos, kind of talk about the different strategies and everything. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we got our first game here. First one is against Red Shanks. So Green Yellow Law typically doesn't have a too good of a matchup into this, at least statistically wise, if you guys look at the ranked sim stats. But I do like to say I do like this matchup. I do think if you play it the right way, it can be favorable for you. So I guess to start off with, we kept our first hand. We had the Luffy and the Cavendish when we're going first, which is great. I do like to go first here in this matchup just because playing out 7-cost Law on curve is really beneficial. The only thing that does suck is we do have two Hodies in our hands. In this deck, you typically never play Hodie more than once. Very rare occasions can you, or will you, if you have maybe 8-cost kid, you're looking to take a life, or anything like that. But having those in our hands kind of sucks just because it's 2 bricks, but, it is what it is. So now going to our 3-down turn, I think I'm going to go ahead and choose to swing 6 here at life. Either get leader building 1k out, or he just ends up taking a life, either or. But I think what's really important is establishing this Capone Gang beige, the 2-cost. Like I mentioned the video before, this card is probably one of the best cards in this deck, besides the Cavendish and the 7-cost Law, just because it helps protect your board. That's the really most important part. Is this deck had prior to this you had Tashigi, and you can only protect your green characters, but now this one you can also protect 7-cost Law or any other supernovas, so it makes it really good. So now into our 5-down turn, this is where we're going to try to tempo as best we can. We don't have a 1-cost Capone to play off of this turn. Typically, after you're playing Cavendish, play 1-cost Capone and then be able to stack your life. But here we're going to do the ability. We actually surprisingly get lucky and get out blocker Law, so because of this I'm going to play it out. We are probably not going to opt to bounce anything back because I do want to keep the Capone on board just in case he has a follow-up play in this next turn. There's one card, I think it's called the Honesty Impact. They can use that to remove the Cavendish, and you want to try to keep that on board, especially since you have the 7-cost Law with the Restand Law play for next turn. And you're going to get value off that Luffy right now, and then search again, so we get a 2k. Right now we're bricked up, which sucks. And we have the 8-cost kid and then the 2 Hodies. So it's not looking super great on the counterpart. I never really like playing 8-cost kid in this matchup just because they have a lot of access to Dawn minusing. And so this is mainly going to be a brick in your hand last resort. You need to play it out. He ends up swinging 7. I 2k counter out. I don't want to get too low in life, and it's okay for me to do that. Plays out the Lucky Root, which does kind of suck. But we do have the Capone to kind of counteract that. So if he chooses to remove any of my guys, I can just heal it instead. So we'll go with the best strong play here is the 7-cost Law to place in Restand Law. We're going to swing 6 with the Cavendish to stand some Dawn here. He could opt to block here, but he's going to go ahead and counter out instead. A mistake I made here was not swinging with the blocker Law this same turn. What I should have done is leader ability here, play the Restand Law, and then restand the Cavendish, right? So I did that, and I swing 7. But the next swing after this, I should have swung with the blocker Law too, because you'll see what happens here, just to kind of get some value. Plus, I have the blocker Capone too to keep me healthy. I opt to swing 7 first with leader, just because I wanted to bait him to think that I wasn't going to swing with the blocker Law. But he chooses to remove it. I go ahead and heal with Capone, which is in this deck is pretty insane because now I can just play that out next turn if I choose to, if I don't have any other options, which is pretty great. So I should have done that, but it's all right. We could have got another 7k, which could have been another life take to add some more pressure on my opponent, but we'll work with that at this point. So now he's on their 8-down turn. I believe right now I'm always thinking Rayleigh on 8 for at least for Shanks. You can't get much value besides minusing the Cavendish and then KOing the Capone. That's sure enough what he's going to do. He's going to swing 5 into it. I think I opt to let it go because I have another Cavendish to play this next turn. And I know I'm not going to play 8-cost kid or Hodie. Plus the value on that's not super great. So we're going to let that one go. We do draw into another searcher here. I think I'm just going to opt to play that out, to try to dig for another 7-cost law to play out the Cavendish. Sure enough, we got the 7-cost law, which is pretty insane. We'll probably play it out and then play out the Cavendish off the top to try to get some more value on that. But I think I'm going to, yeah, so we'll do that. It's crazy, it's like we're back out to 4 life again. I mean, now it gets 3, but you know, the fact that Law can heal and sometimes you don't have to use the leader ability really does come up. So right now, the main goal is just put a bunch of pressure on my opponent. We're gonna get a lot of value here with this 7K swing and then a 6K swing, or yes, another 7K swing and another 7. So the pressure is gonna be pretty crazy. He'll probably have to opt to either take both of these lives, and our board's pretty full. The next turn, what he could do is play Pop Shanks, but that's not really going to do much just because the board size that I have right now is very tall. The only thing is I don't have much counter. I can maybe get out of a 2K plus swing, but you know, that's all right. For this one, let's see what I do here. I think I'll opt to just counter just because I'm not too sure if he's going to play another rush character or not and get a bunch of value. I'll probably opt to let that go. And then sure enough, Pop Shanks to remove that. I do think he should have probably removed the Cavendish just because of the value on that, but it's all right. So we get into the Searcher Luffy here. We grab the Bonnie, and then we're probably just going to opt to play the Bonnie, stand some down with Cavendish, and just put some more pressure on my opponent. It's freezing the Rayleigh here is going to be huge because he only has access to 2 swings next turn, and that's not that much value. I'm also probably going to opt to go ahead and leader ability here too, just because I know I have Blocker Law on the top of my life from that heal from Capone, I think 2 turns ago. So we'll bounce one of the searchers, replay the Blocker Law, and the Blocker Law is going to play out another searcher here too, which is going to be some insane value. So we got him down to 1 life here. So I do a little bit, I do kind of opt to rotate out of something different. So sure enough, we'll play the Searcher. We're going to grab out there's only 1 case here, so we just grab a 1K. But I'm going to go ahead and swing 10 at the Rayleigh. Because, even though it's frozen, I know it's not going to be active next turn. There's not really much, I can really go for game next turn because my board is so wide. And from here, he leader ability in 2K. He lost a card out of his hand. Either does that or he loses the Rayleigh. I'm an okay spot to not put him to 0. He's just going to answer with the Shanks here, and that's going to be pretty much wraps for that. I think I'll just counter out, and then he'll swing into my Cavendish, and then I'll just block here. Oh, he swings to life, so he probably should have just swung into Cavendish, but I guess it doesn't really matter now. At this point, I'm pretty much just going to try to math for game, so we'll just shoot. I think I might end up shooting 8 here to try to bait out the leader ability. With the leader ability 2K, 1K. But we shall see for that. And we even have, you know, Hodia to follow up with if I needed to, but you know, they don't have any triggers to get anything out. We pretty much tempo out. The big things in this deck is just to play out the. Alright guys, so now moving into the next matchup after that Shanks game is this Blackbeard matchup that I have quite on ranked. Notoriously, Blackbeard has a really good matchup in green-yellow just because all of our cards are on play abilities, which does suck. So we'll just see how we play. We ended up losing the die roll, so he goes first, or he goes second. Always try to go second if possible, and then I guess our second game plan is to get Hody. We do not have Hody though, but our opponent sees stage, and surprisingly he does use leader ability right away. So we don't have any on plays, which does kind of suck. Luckily I do have the Bonnie Searcher to at least kind of get some searchability off right now, which isn't too bad. Do I think that it's optimal to rip leader ability for Blackbeard to start off with? I'm not really too sure, just because I feel like maybe you could wait a turn, but I understand that you want to prevent the searches off. So like such as my 5 Dawn turn when I play Cavendish, that's probably like one of the most optimal times to do it. Definitely for sure when I'm on 7 Dawn, just to make sure I don't get Law off. But it's very questionable just because he's low card size, but I get it. But we just shoot to go, you know. Oh, I think he's actually doing Searcher with leader, or not leader, with stage with Fled. He's going to pick up the Jesus Burgess, and he's probably going to play it just because he's on 4 Dawn. I don't see why not. That one's going to be a little bit of a pain just because it's going to keep getting boosted throughout the game. Right now, I think just my goal is to get as much aggression on the board as I can. So he plays Burgess, sure enough, and then he's going to go ahead and leader ability pitch as well. See, so now he has 3 cards in hand, so now I know I can at least get some kind of life value here. I'm going to go ahead and swing 5. He just ends up taking, and then we're going to establish the Cavendish. We're going to hope that he doesn't have Finger Pistol, but I do know lists are now running less of that Finger Pistol just to make some room for the Blackbeard from the new starter deck. So, and he can't drop that this turn. So he's going to go to full lead, pitch, and then get the 10-drop teach out, swings 5 here. I'm actually going to pitch here just because I want to be able to blind potentially and kind of see what I can get off of that. So my goal is to try to flood board if possible, and if I can get into something good, that'll be great. So he plays the Kuzan, the new one from the starter deck, the 6 cost, believe 6k blocker on KO. Play I think a 4 cost or less from trash, or 5 cost or less. I can't remember. So luckily the Cavendish stuck, so I can at least get some kind of value here off that Cavendish when I swing. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Swing 6, just because he's at 3 cards. I'm gonna go ahead and stand some for Dawn here. What might be an option is I swing, depending if he blocks here. Okay, no, he's actually going to just take. So now we're going to go ahead and proc leader ability. It's the Capone, which I'm going to go ahead and actually play out because this is going to be huge. Now he can't go ahead and go teach or reduction plus teach because I know they're running Tempest Kick as an option or just Finger Pistol any of my characters. Along with that, I also establish a block to protect my Cavendish as well. So we're actually off to a great start. Establishing 2 5-cost bodies now, and then a Capone to protect with an additional blocker. He could opt to go the 7 cost here and then just pop the Capone, but I'm not too sure how much value he's going to get. He's pretty low on hand size and life. So my goal next turn, even though Law is a blocker, we're going to swing with it. We're going to keep going aggression, keep putting pressure on my opponent. That way, when 10 Dawn turn rolls around, he can't drop teach. That's our main goal, at least. It does suck that he is going second, so he's going to get there quicker than we would like him to, but you got to make do with what you got. Which would be really nice if we had those 7-cost laws. What sucks is those are pretty much bricks. I think we maybe establish 1. You can, depending on the situation, but ideally if those were Hody Jones, it'd be so much better. That's why I am running it at 3 currently in my builds, just to make sure that I have them available to me. I am thinking about maybe cutting it back down to 2 again, just because you don't see too many teaches anymore, and it's just unfortunate when you do draw into them, when you draw into multiple, like we saw in the previous game. So he's going to go ahead and opt to go 8. I'm going to go ahead and block that, because now he either establishes another 5-cost Kuzan or another Burgess if he does do any of that. So he swings 7 here. I'm going to go ahead, I believe I pitched 2 1s here, just because I know he would have to swing with the Kuzan to get true value, to be able to remove that Cavendish. Sure enough, he does. I'll pitch another 1k, keep protecting it. That way I can apply as much pressure as possible. He goes and plays 5-cost Kuzan and passes. So, right now, I think my goal here is just to drop 9 cost, or not 9 cost, but 7 cost Law to establish a big body for the next turn, because he's going to get to 10 Dawn. And I can at least get some Dawn back with Cavendish. I don't need that much Dawn to swing with, just because he's already at 2 cards in hand. So playing the Bonnie would have been if I'm looking to swing tall and make sure I get some cards out of hand, or achieve to take a life, then yes. But because he's already low in hand size, I'm just going to go and opt to do this. So we'll swing another 7. He's going to block here, and then we'll swing 1 more 7, and then we're going to get him down to 0 potentially. So we sure enough do. And we'll go ahead and pass here. One thing I am a little worried about, if he has some kind of low-cost removal to remove my Capone here, because he could potentially go for a game. He does have 4 swings, I have 3 life, only 1k counter in my hand. That would be the most efficient way to do it. I think we're just a little worried. I think I'm just checking out to see what he searched in the past. Good thing to teach is try to memorize what they've searched. That way you can know exactly what's in his hand. Like I remember seeing the 10 cost in there, so I know that's an option for him. He's gonna opt to go swing 5. I go to counter out, even though I know he can just pivot into clear board here. that's the best route, just because if I take that life there and he does have a card for removal, he just pushes for game, and I pretty much lose. I understand that there's an option for him to clear my Cavendish or my Blocker Law, but it's alright. I think we're just mathing. If he has the 7 cost, he played that out, but has 3 Dawn open to clear the board here, which would be really, really unfortunate for me. But I don't believe that's the route he goes. Because right now at this point, dropping 10 Beard doesn't get him game. Dropping 10 Beard here, he chooses to opt to play the Burgess here, swing 7 or 8 into the Cavendish. I block. Because he drops 10 Beard there, he stuns the 7 cost Law, and he does end up clearing the at least one of the bodies. I just need 2 swings to pretty much shoot for game. So I think now he's just trying to decide what he could do. What he could do here is if he had another blocker Kuzan, he could stack 9 onto leader, swing into the Cavendish, clear that, and then pull out another blocker. But you know, even then, he still would need enough cards in counter to stop 3 of my attacks, which could be an option. So he ends up swinging with the blocker. I think he pretty much just gives up here just because he needed the blocker to defend himself next turn. He's just going to opt to try to see what he does here. This matchup is still brutal. No matter what, you're always going to have lower percentages just because of the fact that Teach's ability inherently just stops 90% of your deck. It's already going to be inherently hard. So it's just a matter of establishing bodies. Trying to hit on the leader ability is also an option to try to get lucky. Or, you know, majority of the time I play against Beard players, they wait until your 7 Dawn turn, 7 or 8 Dawn turn to stop you. And so it's just a matter of playing like that and hoping that, you know, you can get across. But just try to establish as many bodies as possible, swing as much as you can, and then just go from there. So he was able to clear my board, but he didn't establish another blocker. So we're just going to stack all our Dawn here on our leader and pretty much swing for game. Alright guys, so for our final match, just got a webcam game. This is against GLG Garrett or GLG Money. So he's piloting Black Purple Luffy. Deck's got a lot of gas going with the new starter deck with that new 6 cost Luffy. So it's a deck that's been pretty popular in the format. And so in the statistics, this deck typically has a hard time into the Black Purple Luffy matchup. But I think this game is a pretty good showing of kind of the capabilities of Green Yellow Law. So see here, we're going to be going second too, as well as Green Yellow. We're going to go ahead and flip the 2 Dawn over. Sure enough, we see Kid Killer, which is a great start to up the cost for leader ability next turn. And we're going to grab the Luffy Searcher off of that. So then he's going to start off with the Robin to be able to ramp. And then going 7 into life. I'll just take that easily. And then now I believe we see the strong combo of the Bonnie for the 3 cost here to be able to play out another character. So we go Bonnie here, take the bottom life. We're going to place the Cavendish on top. We'll go leader ability. I'll bounce that, play out the Cav to restand some 2 Dawn. And I think we'll just opt to probably go Searcher with the Luffy to start digging for some more value. Get the 2 cost Capone. And then we'll swing 7 out life. So we'll clap back with another 7k. He ends up taking that. So now this is the turn where he could, where he's at right now, he's at 6 Dawn. He could play the Luffy here. He won't, though, get the ability off because you do need 4 Dawn, or your opponent needs 5 Dawn or more in order to get that 2k boost. But I understand if he's just trying to establish it early, that could be the case here. Right now, we have a good start, just at least with the Cavendish play. I know my follow-up play could be another 5 cost too, and then, you know, restanding the Dawn with Cavendish. I have a lot of options here. So he's going to go ahead and play the Luffy. Does the -2 to just restand an extra Dawn. He'll swing 5 at life. I'll probably end up pitching since I'm already at 2 life already. And then he's going to opt to play the Searcher Law to search top 4. So my next turn here, I know I'm just going to have to hit life as hard as I can just to make sure, you know, because he's going to be a 7k leader for the majority of the game now at this point after establishing the Luffy. And he's going to be at 8 Dawn next turn, which could result into a 8 cost Cat or a 7 cost Sanji. Who knows? So off that Law Search, he gets 7 cost Sanji, something he could play next turn. So something to look out for too. We're now at 6 Dawn here, and I'm going to go ahead and play Blocker Law. Great, because I'll just bounce the Luffy, and I'll most likely put out the Capone here. The 2 cost Blocker Capone. This is probably the best. That's probably the best play, just because even though I know I can stand some Dawn here, 1 cost for the Luffy is better than 2 Dawn for the Capone to play out again. So we'll opt to swing 6, stand the 2 Dawn. He'll take, and then I'm going to search here. Top 5. Now I'm just looking for pieces. Another really good card in this matchup would be 8 cost Kid. I think that might be the option I pick here. The only thing that does suck is if they... Oh, I picked 7 cost Law. The only thing that does suck is Gamma Knife. Gamma Knife's a really strong card. We're going to opt for leader ability, bounce the Luffy back just to have some hand size developed. And then we'll swing 6 at life because I'll probably follow up with another Luffy play. So, this is the crazy thing about Green Yellow Law is the value you can get by swinging, or not swinging, by bouncing your characters back. You're always bouncing a Searcher and then replaying the Searcher back out. So establishing or getting the Luffy starting hand is huge. Kid Killer is nice too, just because it's 2 Dawn to up your cost. But at this point in the game, you want to try to maximize on value of Dawn or Dawn usage, and 1 cost Luffy is the way to go. So we'll play the Sanji and go ahead and -1 tap the Capone. He'll go 2 into the Capone. I'm just gonna let it go. There's no point of getting or keeping it up, just because he has the Robin to swing with 2 to get some kind of value from it. So there's no point. Then he's going to follow up with the Luffy swing with the ability to go ahead and boost his leader by 2 and then proc leader ability. Since he only -1 Dawn from the Sanji, he didn't proc it the prior. And then he'll follow up with an AK at the Cavendish, and I'm just block with the Bonnie. He'll go in with a 7, and I'm going to just... I think I end up opting for 2 1s here just to keep the Blocker Law on board. Because right now, I am a little nervous, and this is just going to flash to exactly that I don't have 2Ks in my hand. But I do need both characters on board to keep going. I wanted to keep the Blocker Law too, especially because I have 8 cost Kid. I want to follow up with that in the next couple turns, at least keep a blocker. So as great as I got 7 cost Law, and we put the Bonnie on top, which is huge. So we'll proc leader ability, play the Bonnie. I'm going to stun that Luffy. And now it's going to keep him from a turn from being 7k, or he either has to play another one. Either or works for us. So at least he just doesn't get any value. That's probably one of the more key cards in the matchup too. So I'll proc with, go ahead and go 6 into the blocker here to stand 2 Dawn, and then to swing 7 into life to get some value from there. Considering now whether or not I should have swung with the Cavendish, because now it's pretty much you swing into it and clear it, but I think the important part is to try to force cards out of your opponent's hand here, and so I think I'm gonna do okay without needing the Cav. So right now I'm pretty stoked, just because he's not either gonna he most likely won't be able to boost his leader to 7k, so I can really take advantage of that opportunity, and then we can follow up with our wide board that we have with, if he does remove the Cavendish, Blocker Law, Bonnie, and the Law as well. So he'll go ahead and go 8 into the Cavendish here. I do spend some time to consider whether or not I want to counter out, just because I know I have I believe I have a 2k, 1k to pitch for this. But knowing that I'm going to play Kid or establish Kid this next turn, I'm going to probably end up letting it go. I understand Cavendish is a really good card, but I do need to make room anyways for an 8 cost Kid for me to play out at the same time. And I don't want to lose all that counter value that I can just save when basically 8 cost Kid's going to protect me the majority of the game, especially this end game here. So go ahead and attach 1 to leader, and he's going to play the Sanji to KO the Blocker Law, which really sucks because I wanted to keep that if possible, but it's all right. So he's going to go ahead and go, I believe, swing 6 here to my life. Swing 6. I'm going to go ahead and take just because I know I'm going to play 8 cost kid. I want to get as much counter power as possible to protect it. Just because I know he's got 3 bodies established, he's going to try to swing as much as possible. He also opts to swing 5 here. I'm going to pitch a 1K just because I'm a little worried about going to 0. This next play is a little counterintuitive just because I just thought it would be a little bit more value here. So we're going to opt to play kid, but we'll just start off with some poking at him. We'll go 7 at I believe I go 7 at life here. Or 9 at life. And so he's going to go giant and then pitch another counter too. So he was able to at least get 1 Dawn or 1 card of value out of his hand. I think now I'm just going to attach a Dawn to leader. Or I think opt to play 8 cost kid too. Either or works for us. And I'm going to leader ability. I end up flipping over Kid Killer, and I ended up playing that. Looking at it from now, my mindset then was, oh, I can search and get another counter to protect 8 cost kid because I know my hand needs some more counter power to protect. But looking at it, if my opponent, if GLG Money had the Gamma Knife, then I would have instantly lost. So now that I know that, I'm pretty sure I should have just let that one go, or just flipped it over and just kept the value of the Luffy and just kept that in my hand instead of being greedy and playing Kid Killer. So, but good to know now. I just know that, you know, I should play a little bit more cautious just in case he does have the out, which is always a possibility. I think we're sitting at 5 cards in hand now. So without that, I think I would have been at 4. Which was a little concerning for myself. But I do know I have a lot of counter power to protect this 8 cost kid, no matter what. But he's going to get some value here. He is at 0 life, so I am threatening game next turn. So he does have to try to clear this at least. And I believe he has 9 Dawn to work with too. So you know, I'm stacking and going 10 into it. I'm thinking here right now, I'm counting whether or not if I block here, can I counter out of him stacking all his Dawn on his Luffy and swinging into it? I think I do the math and it's good, but I think I ended up countering out anyways with the 2K1. Yeah, but when I did the math in my head, it could have been either or. So now he's gonna opt to go, I believe 8 here, or that, or he splits up his Dawn evenly. So he goes 8. Or actually 9, procting the ability, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pitch a 2K for that, 2K Capone. And I am thinking he's just probably going to keep some Dawn up for at least a giant if he can't clear it. He's at that point where he does have to, if he does hit both these swings, the Bonnie will take one, and then maybe Kid takes if I don't have any counter. But no matter what, I'd still stay alive in this matchup. Proxy swing 8. I'm going to go ahead and counter out here. And then he's going to go another 8. I'll pitch another 2. So he does leave 2 Dawn open, and it is my turn. This can be a little concerning, especially since there's 2 Dawn open and he does have a decently healthy hand, just because 7K leader plus giants equals a lot of value. So it is concerning about math, but I do have a wide enough board to go ahead and push here. I think we opt to go ahead and just test the hand. I think I just end up swinging 9 here to either force a giant out or 2K 1K. Either one works for me. So he goes and does giant. I get 1,000 power of value on that since he over countered just a little bit. We're going to go another 9 to see if he can use another giant. Sure enough, has another giant. Gets another 1,000 power of value on that swing too, which is great on my end. And then I'm pretty much just stack it all on Bonnie and go for game here. And he doesn't have enough counter there. He was a little bricked up, so you know I'm a little happy about that. But you know, in the end we got it, thankfully to 8 cost kid though. So I mean, looking at this matchup now in hindsight, I definitely shouldn't have taken that life for that Kid Killer. It was a little too much there, a little too greedy, just because he had Gamma Knife. It'd be pretty much. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video for the gameplay of Green Yellow Law. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, shoot a comment down below for it. We're probably going to pop out some more content with gameplay, maybe some more market watches, anything like that, just let us know. But as always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Grand Line Gaming out.